Hey everyone, welcome to Broadband Deployment News. So two different groups of electric co-ops have banded together in their states to improve the state of broadband in their states, and I was going to cover that today. Be right back. Hey, thanks for joining me. Rick Husey here with Broadband Deployment News. So as I mentioned, there's two different groups. One is in Arkansas and one is in Indiana, and these are groups of electric co-ops that have decided to kind of band together to provide better broadband for the state, and a lot of that has to do with middle mile infrastructure. Electric co-ops are in a perfect position to do that because they often are distributed, their territories, service areas are distributed around rural areas and tend to extend pretty far out compared to, let's say, municipal provider that's concentrated on one city or town. Sometimes regional telcos can cover kind of similar kinds of territories, but electric co-ops, again, in a good position. They often have fiber running between their substations and their offices, so they've already got that resource out there, the rights of way, and a lot of times they have dark fiber, so they've got access for others. So again, I was going to talk about just these two stories that I saw recently that I thought kind of highlighted this. So the first one here is talking about these 13 Arkansas electric co-ops. They join to form a new wholesale broadband provider. Diamond State Network says it's investing $1.66 billion in broadband infrastructure to make Arkansas the most connected state in America. So a collective of more than a dozen Arkansas electric co-ops has partnered together to announce the formation of Diamond State Networks, a new wholesale broadband provider, uniting the fiber optic networks of member cooperatives throughout the state. So again, these co-ops already have their fiber networks that were kind of on their own, and they're connecting these up, and that's going to give them this fiber network infrastructure throughout the state. And mentions wholesale broadband. So a lot of these, as I looked at, this is the one that's got the list of the providers. As you look through it, a lot of these folks have already are already providing broadband service to their members. So they've already gone to that step. So they've got not just fiber for their own uses, but they're using that fiber to connect up their customers. So a lot of them are doing that. So I don't think they're talking about that as the wholesale. That would be a retail play for them, although their customers are members in a sense, member owned. So I guess you could say you're getting the wholesale rate because of the fact that you own it. But really, that's the retail price. But the wholesale thing they're talking about would be for middle mile network and others to be able to tap into that network. Now it'll be interesting to see if they will allow, like let's say there's an electric co-op that's providing broadband service in a particular town or their service area. Will they let some other ISP come in and ride that network as an open access network and do that? Or are they just talking about ISPs connecting into that middle mile network for other purposes in other parts of the state? I don't know, but they're saying wholesale here. Promising to further enhance connectivity throughout Arkansas with a network covering more than 64% of the state's land mass and more than 50,000 miles of fiber lines. DSN, that's Diamond State Networks, is providing access to 1.25 million rural Arkansans. How do you say that again? Arkansans? I don't know. People from Arkansas. The backbone of Diamond State Networks is formed by the partnership of 13 member-owned Arkansas electric cooperatives and/or their fiber network subsidiaries. So a lot of them do have subsidiaries because a lot of times you've got this public or this member-owned utility, and they want to separate that electric member-owned utility sometimes from the internet provider. So they'll put it under subsidiary, and you'll see that here. So the partner entities that make up DSN include Ozarks Go, and that again is a subsidiary of Ozarks Electric Cooperative. They're offering all fiber gigabit internet, and they'll also offer telephone and television service. Clay County Connect, subsidiary of Clay County Electric. That's Farmers Electric Co-op. Doesn't mention that they've got a subsidiary, so they may not be providing broadband to their members at this point. Pettit Gene Fiber, based in Clinton. That's a subsidiary of that co-op. Enlightened by Woodruff Electric. That's a subsidiary as well. Woodruff Electric. Next, powered by NAEC. NAEC, that's a subsidiary of North Arkansas Electric Cooperative. Wave Virtual Connect, subsidiary of Arkansas Valley Electric, Arkansas Fiber Network. That's actually a statewide, it says here, statewide association of the 17 distribution electric cooperatives in Arkansas. And they were formed to provide middle mile fiber. So they are part of this as well. 4 States Fiber Internet, subsidiary of Southwest Arkansas Electric. Empower, they're a subsidiary of Craighead Electric. MCEC, subsidiary of Mississippi County Electric Cooperative, but it's MCEC Fiber. South Central Connect, subsidiary of South Central Arkansas Electric, and then Connect to First, subsidiary of First Electric. So again, it looks like most of these guys are providing broadband service already to their membership. It says here, together these 13 electric cooperatives have invested or are planning to invest more than $1.66 billion in broadband communications infrastructure exclusively in fiber optic networks. So they're not talking about doing any of this via wireless. This is going to all be strictly fiber. The new network will serve nearly 600,000 potential customer locations. So that's Diamond State Networks in Arkansas. And then there was another story that came out. First, though, these guys are already they're already looking like they've got a lot of this done. So they had a conference back in May where they all met, had different breakout sessions, and they already have their website up. Here you can see what makes DSN different, need for fiber broadband access, components of the mission, best-in-class connectivity, long-term cost control, and affordability for all. And then not long after I saw that story come out, then this story came out. Indiana ISPs, co-ops band together to offer statewide middle-mile fiber. So a similar kind of thing. Excuse me. Local telecoms and cooperatives continued to organize this week. So it continued being, they were kind of piggybacking on this DSN announcement. Continued to organize this week to improve connectivity in their states, with Indiana becoming the latest hub of activity. A group of 17 internet service providers and cooperatives formed HoosierNet, a consortium which aims to leverage members' fiber assets to offer statewide middle-mile infrastructure. So a very similar situation. Indiana previously had a statewide fiber provider called Intelligent Fiber Network, which boasted more than 5,000 route miles of infrastructure. However, that company was acquired by Zayo Group last year. So I guess that was a separate private company that was providing that statewide fiber that maybe these cooperatives were contracting with. HoosierNet plans to offer a range of services, including Ethernet transport from 10 meg to 10 gig, direct internet access up to 10 gig, dark fiber, again, letting folks ride that middle mile network or tap into that. 10G or 100G wavelength services and cell site backhaul. That's another thing that these fiber networks are needed for, are cell operators that then need to backhaul their traffic. Services we offered to its owner members. So directly, sounds like directly to the EMC clients or members. Telecommunications providers, and direct commercial clients, including hospitals, schools, government institutions. So there's anchor institutions, and then telecommunications providers. And again, it sounds like that's kind of the middle mile play, where telecom operators can come in there and ride that network. Again, I don't think that necessarily means that it's going to be completely open access in the areas where the EMC serves their customers. So I don't think they're necessarily going to let other retail providers come in and provide retail service to their members. It sounds like it's just going to be primarily providing that middle mile kind of transport for these other telecom providers. But the group is also looking to make connections outside of Indiana as well. One of its founding members is Independence Fiber Network, a subsidiary of Ohio-based ComNet, which was established in 2003 to help provide backhaul to rural and underserved communities in Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana. That reminds me of Utopia Fiber. So Utopia was a group of providers that got together in Utah, and then recently they have expanded into other places, including California. They're going to be providing basically a similar open access network, and that is an open access network in the case of Utopia Fiber. Completely open access, multiple retail providers riding that infrastructure are going to be doing the same thing in California, so they're branching out. This will likely be a branch out of the middle mile infrastructure. I don't know about retail play there as far as open access. Being in Western Ohio, we see the need to reach beyond state lines and develop a regional network to support educational institutions, businesses, and surrounding communities, all of which will benefit from HoosierNet's increased speed, bandwidth, and reduced latency. So again, these are companies that are banding together to, I think, primarily to do middle mile. There's a lot of emphasis on that right now. Of course, there's the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, and part of that, there's the Middle Mile Grant Program that provides up to $1 billion for middle mile throughout the country, and a lot of states are going to be applying for that. And then it's very possible that some of that money could go towards some of these efforts. If these networks, middle mile networks, need to expand further, they might be looking at trying to get some funds from their state once those middle mile grants come in. There's also money in the BEAD program for middle mile, in the sense that that money doesn't need to be used exclusively for last mile kinds of connections. That can be used for middle mile connections that help bring services to areas that need that then you would connect up with the last mile connection. So if there are areas where there's more middle mile infrastructure needed, some of those funds from BEAD could be applied to that as well. So thanks for joining me today. I'll be back next week with broadband deployment news. If you are not subscribed, feel free to click the subscribe button on YouTube, or down at the right-hand corner of the video, you should see a little subscribe button. You hover over that, click that, and you can subscribe. Make sure you click the little bell, and you'll be notified when I'm live every day. See you next time. Bye-bye.